Hi guys, I'm Akash
My name is Siddharth.
and we are here with the review of Fan. It's a basic movie about a guy who is obsessed with a celeb named Aryan Khanna. And the cast in it is, the major one is just Shah Rukh Khan. There's no one else that major in this movie. So there's Shah Rukh Khan playing the fan, Shah Rukh Khan playing the celeb. And the basic plot of the movie is that a guy obsessed with a celeb named Aryan Khanna. The fan name is Gaurav,
Yeah, Gaurav Changa.
Gaurav Chandla. And he owns a cafe in Delhi. He basically views this guy as celeb.
Cyber.
Cyber, yeah, it's a cyber.
Use it cafe.
Cyber cafe. And he views this celeb as a god, not as a figure from which you should inspire from.
So the
Yeah.
story is basically about
A guy
Guy.
obsessed from a celeb and how he goes to meet him to show his trophy that he won for him, and that's how it turns into an hatred story and the movie goes along. The concept is sure unique.
not
And yeah, not a typical Bollywood movie that you expect of over drama, over the top action, larger than life, everything.
a proper movie
Yeah,
where there is no over. There is nothing over. That everything is realistic. There is no like hitting some guy and going flying and nothing like that. No, nothing
Yeah,
like that.
when the trailer came out, the second trailer, not the first trailer was awesome.
Teaser.
Yeah, the first teaser was awesome. The trailer came out, and my biggest complaint was that there should have not been any action scenes in the movie. It should have stayed a psychological drama thriller,
Yeah.
which it was for the first half. Then the second half turns into an international big scale action movie, even though there are just two action scenes, which one I'm fine with, the last one that comes around the last thing, I'm fine with that. There's a chase scene in between where the celeb chases the fan that I thought is unnecessary, that shouldn't have been in the movie.
The movie has two sides where one he's obsessed with his star and in second when he hates the star. The obsession and the hatred, like how he plays when he's obsessed with the character and how he plays when he hates that character. It's like a very different thing, very different. First half is very different, second half is very different. So the story is totally different in first half and in second half.
So he starts hitting personal aspects of the celeb, like taking advantage of his looks. Well, that is a good idea to go with from the side of the fan. And at sometimes, I mean, you sure would predict that he would do this, so it's sometimes predictable. But other things that come later on in the movie are just shocking. It's you can't predict what's coming. That's after the 15 minutes through the interval.
You see, in the first half, he tries to save his. In the first half, he tries to save his stardom, tries to save his personality, tries to save his reputation. But in second half, he tries to steal his stardom. A very different thing, where he don't want that actor to live in a stardom. He just wants to. He just wanted to be with him, but he did not get to do that. So he just that love just turned into hatred. So this
Yeah, it's a
different thing.
it's a
First from first half.
it's a concept of a fan finally meeting his idol and realizing that it's not always good, which turns into an hatred. So that's the concept of the movie. And now we move on to the acting. Even though both the characters are played by Shah Rukh Khan and there's just one major celeb in the movie, the acting was straight up phenomenal. There was
Superb.
the two characters, Gaurav and Aryan, you can differentiate between them You don't view them as that Shah Rukh Khan. You view them as their character, and that's an example of a good acting.
At
And
one
like-
point, you forget that both the characters are Shah Rukh Khan. The way he plays, the way he shows his characters as a fan, as a star, is totally different. At one point, you'll forget that he is Shah Rukh Khan and he is also Shah Rukh Khan. The acting, the expressions, the way he expresses his love to the about the fan. First, we'll talk about the fan. How he expresses love to the fan, how he expresses hatred to the fan, is very different. And we'll talk about the fan first. That how he expresses love to the star, how he badly wants to meet him, how he badly wants to stay with him, and how badly he's obsessed about him and madly, and how, if we talk about the star, how he reacts to the fans' uh, actions, how he reacts to the fans' actions, and how he tackles all the fans, how he meets all the fans, and what he thinks about him, and like it's a two different plots, two different persons in this movie. But in the real life, if you think about that, both the persons are the same, but the way he acts, the way he expresses characters, makes you forget that both are one person only.
Halfway through the movie, you start realizing that it's not just Shah Rukh Khan. You get attached to both the characters, Aryan and Gaurav, which is an example of a good character build-up. You get attached to a character. That's what lacks in Bollywood movies. You cannot relate yourself to the characters. Now we move on to the direction. The direction of the movie there's not a lot to go through in the first half, because the first half was very simple. The psychological aspects, the emotional aspects was the first half. And through the second half, they thought that, well, the first half was fabulous. Now you can do anything you want in the second half. They moved the story on an international level, and they start roaming places, and which kind of puts off the motive of the movie, the emotional psychological aspects of the movie.
Yes.
So yeah, my main issue with the direction was the second half. The first half was awesome. The second half was good, but did not live up to the first half of the movie, which was small scale, but had a lot of psychological and emotional aspects into it. This just moves on to the second half. Just moves on to
Very
big
different
scales,
things, yeah.
fighting, and all
They
that.
go to London, they go to Dubrovnik, and I don't understand that Gaurav
Owns
How?
a cafe,
Cyber
cyber
cafe.
cafe in Delhi.
how he get all the resources. He goes in London, he goes in Dubrovnik, he just sells his one cyber cafe, and how he gets his crores rupees, and he changes his characters, changes everything. And firstly, how can he change his passport name? How can he change his name this easily? Like, he's a normal, common man, common guy from Delhi, from a small place in Delhi, and he knows everything about Dubrovnik, he knows everything about London, and never been to London and Dubrovnik, and he is changing his passport name, changing his ID card, changing his all the character and everything. Like, he is a common guy, normal guy from a small place in Delhi. How can he do all these things, like just get all the resources? Like, he just, I think so. How will he get this much money? Like a cyber cafe.
That too in just 1 year's gap. There's 1 year gap in between the intervals, the
Yeah.
first half and the second half, and he gets all this resources to go foreign, go to London and buy all that stuff. He changes passport. At that point, I was like, well, this movie was aiming for something for the first half, and then the concept totally changed. Still, the second half was good when you get 15 minutes through the second half. The last part is kind of good. Yeah, there are some mistakes by the direction team. They did not give focus. They did not give that much attention to some things, which audiences would easily nitpick out, like that's wrong, that should not have been there.
By the Spanish going over there.
Yeah, exactly. Fan had no particular. He could have waited for him to come back to Mumbai or his house, because anyways he travels to London, he comes back.
But if we talk about Shah Rukh Khan, is at a different level.
Yeah, the
He's a true
acting was
legend.
phenomenal in the
And we
movie.
have just some issues with the story and a bit some plots about in Dubrovnik.
There are plot holes in the
And
movie. There are-
first thing that what everyone thinks that how did he start that bike, motorcycle?
Yeah,
How did he start
there's
that
a particular
motorcycle?
scene in the movie
How?
where he.
How?
There's a particular scene in the movie where he just jumps
How?
onto the bike and starts riding it. And we are like, what?
That bike was, I think so that motorcycle was waiting for Shah Rukh Khan. Oh my god, Shah Rukh Khan is coming. On,
Where
I'm
जा
on.
रहे थे?
Turn on.
And there's a rooftop scene too in that continuing scene. And Shah Rukh Khan just makes a pulley out of the ropes and swings. He's a celeb. He's not a gymnast or an athlete that he would himself run behind this guy who is teasing him. He could easily send his guard, those big ass bodybuilders, go catch him, please. I'm too tired, man.
This is super. How he's doing all the stunts in motorcycle, like his drifting, like his like
Yeah.
Willy, and what is that? Like how? Like he's going everywhere. Like I think this Shah Rukh Khan, like,
Yeah.
and just to actor, not James Bond.
How many celebs do you see doing that?
Like he's Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, we get it. He's a big celebrity, but you cannot pull off that big of stunt. He's a celeb.
Now let's talk about some positives about Shah Rukh Khan, about his acting and his, the film. All
Yeah.
mixed in a positive.
The first positive about the film was the first half itself. The first half was phenomenal. Small scale, emotional, psychological thriller. Phenomenal.
And
And the
talking
acting.
about the star, yeah, and
The
acting
acting-
was very different. Like if you see all the other Shah Rukh Khan movies and this movies are very different. When Gaurav Khan is the fan, the way he expresses characters was a very different thing. And the second and the third thing is that Shah Rukh Khan had a knee injury and also something in where in his arms he got some
He had
injury.
a fracture on his elbow. He had a knee
Knee
injury.
injury. Still he's doing all the stunts. Still he's jumping. Still he's running.
Dance. There's this one dance
See.
video which technically doesn't matter to connect to the movie, but he did that dance.
Maybe this is what other stars, other actors should learn from him. This dedication, the
Yeah,
hard work.
doing the stunts for yourself even though you are injured. Yeah, the guy with that much popularity and achieved greatness still does the stunts on his own. That means he cares about his fan.
That dedication is superb,
Yeah,
superb.
and
Maybe I think that any actor other than Shah Rukh Khan could not do this.
yeah, that's the actors who are as famous, because actors like the young actors like Tiger Shroff and all that are a different case. They do their stunts. They are new to the industry.
The
Shah Rukh
acting.
Khan, Salman, Amir, they have all
Different
reached,
level.
reached their greatness, but still doing their stunts on their own is just increases the respect for the guy. Yeah, that's our positives for the movie. The first half, the acting, and the dedication of the actor. And that was kind of a letdown that the movie seemed like the first half was directed by someone else and the second half was directed by someone
No,
else.
it's
Exactly.
मैं तेरे को मारूंगा तू मेरे को मारेगा मैं तेरे को मारूंगा तू मेरे को मारेगा.
Yeah, that's a positives and negatives about Fan. You should definitely check out this movie. It's
It's a
worth a
very-
watch.
Yeah, it's not at all like if you, I think so. This movie can be compared to any different basic Hollywood movie
Yeah.
because it's a very different movie. Not at all, and it, the movie makes sense. It does make sense. It does make sense. It does make sense. Yes.
Yeah, so on base of our new rating scale that we
We did our own rating scale.
Yeah, that we explained in our intro video.
I would rate this movie as spectacular. No, yeah, spectacular. Spectacular.
I would rate this movie a good watch. a good watch because the second half was kind of a letdown.
For me, spectacular because it's not at all a typical Bollywood film. Not at all a typical Bollywood film. I'm Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, that's our thoughts for Fan. See you in the next video.
You can comment your thoughts about our video, this review. You can comment anything. You can comment whatever you want.
Share this video
Like
and
this video. And the
tell
ones,
us.
the ones who don't know about Fan, about the movie, who want to see and who wants to see the movie and wants to know that what is this movie about, you can share this video to them, and maybe they would know that how this movie is.
Yeah.
And
Because this movie needs to break records. It's worth. What the fuck? It's worth the money that you put into it. And here's a question for you: which movie do you think avoided every Bollywood cliches? See you in the next video.